And this episode is brought to you by Draggin Bags. Sean's rocking the cap.
Sure am.
Great logo. Even better bags.
You see it right here.
Yep, that's the logo. Little claws, grippy grips. So go get your grip on over at dragginbags.com. Again, I can't say it enough, though.
They worked this
Sean,
weekend, man. And listen,
they've turned us into good throwers.
Tom Stranger, we'll get into it a little bit more, but Tom Stranger should be singing the praises of these bags because he threw them great this weekend.
Hell yeah, because they work for everybody and they're fantastic. So join the cult over at dragginbags.com. Drop code BIGASP12 at checkout. Now it's time to get to getting.
Yeah, their designs. Their new designs are awesome.
They are sweet. Maybe some fun stuff coming. Who knows?
I've heard a rumor that there should be some sort of like Big Asp collab kind of bags coming in the future. So
sounds pretty sweet to me.
I'm very excited. So,
by the way, don't forget to bring me back my bags.
Oh yeah, they're in my car.
Okay,
Gotcha.
I'm gonna follow you out.
We did not end up using that set.
What?
We used my blue set because the boards were a little sticky. So and
Tom needed a little more.
Yeah, Tom needed something a little faster. So when warming up, I preferred the white set, but then we switched. It was fine, like it was good enough. But they were
there's not a bad
faster.
set out there.
There's not.
Is all you're saying right now.
Correct.
So, it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Code BIGASP12 at checkout. Dragginbags.com. Do it.
Welcome to the Big Ass Cornhole Show with Sean and Dane, the host, talking cornhole life and random fun. Grab a beer, let's get it done. From tossing bags to let's wild ride, tune in and join the party, don't you hide. It's the Big Ass Cornhole podcast time with Sean and Dane. It's always prime.
All right, welcome back to the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Sean and Dane are with you as always. What's up, dude?
Not too much, just here on a Monday night.
On a Monday night?
Can't complain. Watching a little Monday Night Football. And, we have really awesome fans.
We do. Oh, yeah, we do. We do. So, Dane, you know what? You kind of hinted at it.
I sure did.
All right, so before we get into anything else, Dane, do what you do best every single week. Let the folks know what we're drinking tonight in our favorite segment called What You Drinking.
What you drinking?
All right, so let me set the stage. Fan of the show reached out, and he's like, hey, you guys like beer. I like beer. Can I send you beer? And I'm like, we like beer. We would like to review beer. We have the beer here. Shout out to
beer here.
Shout out to Eric or Arik. Not really sure which one it is, but Mickelson.
Is it Ulrich, like Ulrich von Liechtenstein?
It's ARIC. All right, not to throw it out there, but Mickelson. Thank you very much, man.
No relation to Phil.
So he sent us 6 different beers.
Yes, he did.
4 from one brewery, 2 from another.
Yeah.
So we're going to just do a random draw, but I do think that we should start one each of us from the same brewery, though.
Okay, we can do that.
So let's do the Cocoon one.
All right, we'll start there.
I don't know why. The cans gave me good vibes.
Which one are you looking at? Which one do you want?
I'll take the other one.
All right, so Sean got the girly one.
All right, so what do you got?
So I have in my hand Glass Wing. It's a hazy IPA, 6.3%, and it is from Cocoon Brewing Company. Sean, what are you sipping on?
I am also drinking a beer from Cocoon Brewing Company. It is called the Orchard Swallow. Orchard Swallowtail. It's a hazy IPA, triple IPA. So, so this could be fun.
I mean, what's the percentage of that?
9.6.
I mean, do you want to switch?
What is that?
6.3.
Well, let me try this first.
Okay, I'm just
Let me just.
We both have to work tomorrow, but
listen. If you're into this kind of stuff, just close your eyes for a second. Oh my god!
Double
if you're listening
your
to this
pleasure.
in the morning and you just got hard, I'm really sorry. Oh, double my fun. All right, first sips. Let's see how this goes.
Cheers.
Cheers, sir. All right. Okay. First of all, fuck me that's triple IPA. There's no goddamn way that. Holy shit, that's really good. You want to try
This is here. We'll swap.
Swap.
We're brothers. It's all right.
One sip in. It's all right.
It's not gay. You're the one sucking my dick.
I knew it was coming. That's what he said.
Oh boy!
Wow, these are both fantastic.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so you can definitely tell that this is a triple compared to that.
Yes, you honestly get
little
kind of
hoppier.
almost the
fuller.
alcohol.
Yeah,
like on the end
it's
of
a
it.
fuller
again,
deal, a fuller finish.
That just means you're gonna stop tasting that after like.
But if you
3-4
like
sips.
hazy, like citrusy stuff, like oh my god, is that good?
Yeah.
And you're just looking for like, hey, I just want to get one beer, but I want to get something out of
There's
it.
something on top
here.
of it too, like some kind of fruit
don't
juice. Like, is it like? I don't think it's
orangey.
not like it's not grapefruit. Might be grapefruit. I don't know. It's got something in there. But I do quite like that one. And then this guy, man, the glass wing.
It's
I want to sip this on the beach. Like I want to be like out back grilling. Like this thing's so good. It's a great drinkable hazy IPA. Fantastic choice.
stone fruit hop bomb.
Stone fruit. God, I should have
The
known.
old
I was thinking
favorite.
like maybe dragon fruit, but it was a little more tart than that.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like a mixture of stone fruits.
Really good. Phenomenal.
Delicious.
We'll stop and pause.
Well
when we
done.
grab the next one.
Yeah.
But again, Arik, thank you very much, man. Really appreciate you. And they're delicious.
I'm
All right,
excited.
so we have more audio gold planned for you all this week. We're going to recap ACL Open number 4 that was held in Hamilton, Ohio. We have dramatic readings, of course. And then we're going to be joined by one interesting fella. All right, a guy that I got to meet this weekend in person. I think he's going to be a killer interview. He's known as Seabass in around his area, but Sebastian Schaffer-Ford.
Hell yeah.
So really excited for that. But before we get into all that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our cornhole lives in a segment we call In and Around the Hole.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Honestly, I thought you were going to say, like, after you said Sebastian, I thought you were going to say Maniscalco.
No,
You know,
wasn't.
I thought you were going to mess it up for a second.
I almost did,
I know you did.
but
I know.
I got it, man.
I know. I'm
Little subtle
impressed. Huh?
pauses. All right, we got it.
You're getting better.
All right, so so this weekend, what did you do since you abandoned me and I had to go to the Hamilton Open solo?
Originally, my wife and I were expected
Okay,
to go see Bryn
and so it starts.
and Izzy.
You guys didn't go?
No.
Why?
She canceled.
Who did?
Bryn.
Why did Bryn cancel?
She had to work.
Bullshit. You guys.
So we ended up going to the lake. And we found this out on like a little earlier. But Amy was pretty bummed. Like, so I had to do the husbandly duty. So we just went out to the lake. Had a great time though. Like real quiet, calm. It was pretty chilly, but hit up our favorite spots and yeah, just drank and hung out.
Happy for you.
Yeah. You know,
Sweet.
threw some. I
Did
set
you?
up the boards out back and
Okay.
chucked around on Saturday. Yeah, honestly, it was warmer there. Like it was probably like 55 in the sun. Like it wasn't bad on on Saturday. So yeah, bust out the boards, threw for a bit. I was throwing local bandits
Okay.
and the OG Eric Anderson carpet bag. What the hell is the name of that
Which
one?
one?
It was the
Not the Charger.
It was the navy blue set that had just the EA logo on it, and then it had the old Big Daddy carpet on the other side.
I know. I can't remember. I know what you're talking about that.
But anyways, dude, I forgot how great that fucking bag was.
Yeah.
But guess what? 1,000% not legal. But yeah, that was the extent of my throwing. And then besides that, I tried to go to a simulator and it was booked. So I couldn't get in.
How about that? So Saturday, ACL Open number 4, Hamilton.
Oh, you went?
I did.
Oh.
So it's about 3.5, 4 hours, depending on traffic and all that stuff. Luckily, beautiful weather, like easy drives. Like it was pretty nice. Left my house at like 4:15 in the morning Saturday. Drove out there, swooped up Tom Stranger so that Justin could sleep in a little bit. First of all, little shit was giving me crap later in the day because I'm like, hey, I want you. I'm gonna me and your dad are gonna be mic'd up.
Yeah.
I need you to like film this for me. He's like, ugh. I'm like, listen, Dick. I picked up your dad.
In.
Yeah, so you can sleep in, so you can do this for me. So you're welcome, Justin, by the way. But yeah, scooped up Tom. We headed to the venue, and then we ended up playing doubles in like the lower non-open or in the lower open section.
Okay.
So, they separated them now, and opens are pro and elite, and then everybody else. So our goal going into it was like Tom really wanted to make tier 1. I honestly didn't know where. Again, I don't throw that very, very much. I know we went to the regional, we did well last time, but that could have just been me.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to have expectations
exactly.
when you just don't throw very often.
Especially during warm-ups, I was not throwing well, so I was a little worried.
That's my MO now. I just throw terrible in warm-ups, and all of a sudden, like game time, not too bad.
Yeah, and we made like a late game back switch because when we were warming up, the boards were a little slow, and we knew they were going to get slower. We were throwing our typical white set. And I told Tom, I'm like, all right, I have another set of blue. They're broken in, but like they're way newer, like just not as used. And they were moving up the board way better. So I told us, just watching him throw, I'm like, listen, you're money with these blue ones. Like you really are. Like let's make the switch. So we made the switch. They were much faster, and I can't really blame it on the bags at all because I started off really well.
Yeah,
we ended up winning our first 3 games. Pretty convincingly. Like we weren't really like worried about anything. Tom threw outstanding, and I want to give him his kudos because like his back has got to be exhausted from carrying my fat ass around all day Saturday.
Well, I saw that he posted he has a bad hip and shoulder, not back. Correct. So
but no, he played great. And again, what I loved about throwing with him is that he just does the same thing over and over again. Like you put a block down. Like he throws like a slightly tilted bag, and he just bangs into it, and good shit just tends to happen. His bag's always around the hole.
Yeah,
but he hit some really timely push shots, and he played really, really well. I mean, I think of our 6 rounders games, I would say at least 4 of them were over 10 to the average.
Hell yeah!
Your boy had I had one game. I had my one game of 11.
Hell yeah, Sean.
3 rounds,
double sticks.
3 rounds.
I love it.
Hell yeah. But yeah, it was fun. We ended up making tier 1. We went 4-2. We should have gone 5-1. It was round limited. Mm-hmm. So I asked you yesterday.
This was my favorite.
How many games that ended early or ended because of round limited? It was 14 rounds. Each game was 14 rounds.
0.
1.
You had 1 game end because of too many rounds?
Yeah, it was the game that we lost. It was the first game that we lost.
Okay.
So we were absolutely cruising. Like I'm thinking like, oh shit, like we're like with how Tom was throwing and how I just came off a game where I just threw an 11. I'm like, oh, we're good. Like we're fucking cooking. We're putting something together, and we were playing fantastic rolling in this game. And the 2 guys that we were throwing against were really good. Like it was a fun game to play. I understand why pros like it. Because when everyone's really good, it is fucking awesome.
It's intense. Yeah.
It is. It is so much better. Like when you care about a game and you're really competitive, when everyone's like on top of their game and like every shot seems to matter, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I got out in front of my guy, and I think I gave us like a 5-0 lead. We battled back and forth, and then eventually Tom gets a big round, and we're at 11. Right. So I think it's like 11-3. Mm-hmm. With 3 total rounds left. Tom had just finished up, so I had the bags in my hand, 11-3. We'll just say I got 2 more rounds, so I had 8 bags to throw. In those 8 bags, I gave up 9 points, and we lost by 1, 12-11 in the 14th round.
The old Sean special.
Jesus Christ, man, I was so pissed at when I gave up the 5. I looked at Tom, and I'm like, just give me the bags back, and like that's my bad. Like I was trying not to let it get in my head because it was the first really bad round that I'd had all day.
Yeah.
Like, I just straight missed the board left on a bag. Didn't hit the board at all. And, like, Tom looked at me and he's like, that was weird. I'm like, yeah. And then what happened in the next one? Overcorrected. Bag wide right. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, all right, let's. And luckily I made the last 2. And, of course, he 4-bagged me. And that,
that'll do it.
And it happened again. So it was fun.
It's all right, Sean. Again. Yeah. You got to look at the positives, though. Think of that 11 game. Think of all the other wins you guys had.
And then we rolled.
Your one mistake was letting the game you didn't finish it. You should have been killers and finished it.
I don't know what everyone else, but like we rolled right in from one game to the next.
Yeah.
So we go from that loss into the next one. And I was not starting off well. Like, I think I started off with 2 straight 8s. The guy that I threw against, I can't remember the guy's name, but shout out. He said he listens to the show. Would not miss. Like, did not miss for the first 4 fucking rounds. And I kept throwing 8s and 10s. And I had Cito sitting over there, and he's trying to give me advice. And I'm like, dude, like,
Cito, you know Sean well enough to know that is just not the best idea.
I finally hit, like, I kept missing push shots, and I finally hit a push shot, which was not even technically a push shot. It was like throw a normal bag, and the 2 bags should just go in. And my opponent was like, hey, man, nice shot. And I looked him dead in the eye. I'm like, don't patronize me. I'm like, I know I'm throwing like shit. You don't need to patronize me. And I felt like such a dick after the match. I'm like, dude, like,
so guys, the rule of thumb is
just stop.
Sean would respect you more if you just weren't nice to him when you faced him. All right. He just sees it as patronization.
Here's my thing is feel the vibe.
Yeah.
If I'm throwing against someone and I'm doing really well and I can just feel that I'm not going to like.
See, I know to look at you in that situation, be like, finally.
Yeah.
All right. Can we start playing now?
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm facing you, that's when I patronize.
Well, the worst part was,
good job.
I hit that just to give up 3 points. 12-9. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Great. So it was fun.
Hey, again, you still got to go out and play. You got some victories. You got a bunch of games in for Saturday.
So I realized that when it's round limited, and I know people hear this and they're like, oh my God.
So you thoroughly enjoyed round limited?
There's no difference. We
Again,
never had to worry about it. At our level, I didn't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
At the pro level, you saw almost every game it mattered.
Yeah.
For us, one game out of how many did we play total? 10 games. So 9 out of 10 games, 14 rounds. It didn't even matter. It wasn't close. It wasn't like we were getting 21 at the 14th round. No, it was like we were at 22 by round 6.
I mean, I was like looking back through my like longest rounds ever or my longest game. I think my longest game to date on Scoreholio was 21 rounds.
Yeah.
And that was in Al's barn.
Okay. I think I had one that was 21 or 22 rounds against Chad Braun a few years, like 2 years ago at a regional when I had no business like playing, but I just got hot that day and was throwing slick side down. Just old
I remember the day
style.
vividly. That was a battle.
It was. I played everyone tough that day. I think that was the day I beat Eli Stevens finally, head to head. And but yeah, it was fun going out to play. I like getting I just wanted to play as much as I could. I felt shitty. Like once we went into the double elimination bracket, we had like a 2-hour break, but they didn't tell us it was going to be a 2-hour break. Listen, we've been to TCL events.
Yes.
I am all for the midday siesta.
Just
give us 2 or 3 hours to go get some food. Just let us know.
Yeah. Let us
because I would have run back and checked into my hotel, got that all situated. But instead, I was just kind of waiting like, we could get this message at any point. So if that was my one pet peeve about this was that, just communication wise, if there's going to be a break afterwards, awesome. If not, then there can't be this 2-hour lull for
people
us.
Are allowed. People are allowed to like go and leave and do things.
Correct.
They need to.
Correct.
It recharges their batteries. Guess what?
Yeah.
That helps them stay for the.
But
final
I will say, overall, thought the tournament ran really well. They were having some internet issues, but like
that's Ohio.
What are you going to do about that?
Were they hosting it in my basement?
But you take your tablet up to the score, and there was 3 guys sitting there. Kevin Fairchild was one of them. Mm-hmm. Every time he took care of me, I'd go up there. He'd fix it within 30 seconds. I'd be back. It's not that big of a deal. Attendance wise, I think that was like the biggest question I kept having people ask me. What were the numbers like?
Yeah.
From what I was told by ACL people was that this was the highest turnout so far this year for an open. And I think that by this year, I think they mean like this season.
I mean, you're in a hotbed location. It
doesn't surprise me.
Ooh,
now,
jinx.
And it would have been even better, but there was a big charity tournament in Louisville, which was like 2 hours away from there.
Yeah, not that far away.
So a lot of the people like in that Cincy area, like a lot of the AKL guys, they went to the charity tournament instead.
Yeah.
Apparently it's been going on for like 2 or 3 years. Like they've been going and it's like I could like cash payouts and stuff.
Sucks that they had to choose between the two.
It does suck. It really surprises me that the ACL, there's not like some mandate for pros. Like, hey, if we're like coming to your hometown, like this is like, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing? Like,
so
I'm all for like
it as such or something.
They don't push it right now, but it would not surprise me where if we're like, hey, if we're coming to your zip code, you need to make the effort to come to this one.
Yeah.
Or we need a really good excuse, not that you're just going to go to another higher paying tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, it is what it is.
It's tournaments everywhere.
It is.
Can't control it all, Sean.
Other than that, nothing was going on.
Nothing really doing.
Sunday, we just purged the house because we're hosting everyone on Wednesday the night before, right? So we're going to have like 20 or 30 people at the house. So our kids are spoiled beyond belief and they have way too much shit. So mom and dad kidnapped the kids for the morning and afternoon. And me and my wife just like purged like 90% of their stuff, which is a great feeling.
Yeah.
Like just decluttered. I'm like, oh my God, this feels so nice.
Where'd you donate it to?
We have somebody coming to pick it up tomorrow. Not really sure.
Our Lady of the Wayside.
No, it's not that, but something like that. So, but it's great. You just call and they come like 2 days later to pick it up. So we just have to hide the boxes from the kids because Logan was already going through it.
All right. So while we're on the subject of this, I was talking with my mother-in-law because she has a nice couch that she was getting rid of and replacing. It wouldn't fit down here. She wanted me to bring it here, but it wouldn't fit. So I was like, well, just hit up Greater Cleveland Furniture Bank. They'll come pick it up from you. She's like, yeah, I already called them. They charge you. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, this is going to be $250.
Oh, really? It's that much? Okay.
To come haul it away. I'm like, are you kidding? Like somewhere that they're going to go resell it and make full profit on it. The least you can do is come pick it up. Horrible. Just horrible things. Anyways. So yeah,
$250 seems excessive, but it doesn't surprise me that there's some
we deliver across 4 states for $175.
I know you guys are not charging enough.
Apparently, we're doing it wrong. All right.
But overall, it was good. I like going to the events like where pros are going to be at because sometimes it's an opportunity for me to like stop, pay attention to somebody that like I wanted to see throw in person again.
Yeah.
Just to kind of remind myself like, all right, this is their game. This is what I think stylistically who they could translate well up against. So you want to go through like the results and stuff?
Yeah.
All right. We'll start with singles. I was not there on Sunday when singles were going on, but followed along the bracket. And it really doesn't surprise me all that much on the names that are kind of among the top there. Overall, Jacob Trzynski, he takes down Eric Davis. We had Ethan Walker and Matt Guy also win their brackets. Now, I can tell you firsthand experience that Matt Guy was not too pleased. He had an early exit on Saturday in doubles.
Yeah.
As he was walking out, he had a very serious face, was clearly not happy. And I tried getting it. I'm like, hey, Matt, see you later. And
and I'm sure he was very happy to see you and greeted you with open arms.
Second in the bracket is a name we
can
need
I
to
just
start.
say real quick,
yes,
though,
please, go ahead.
Trzynski is making me look like a smart man.
Oh, he's great, man.
He's
phenomenal.
I literally said that he was going to be, he's my 1A this year.
They did not do as well in doubles as I hoped. Like I thought that they could have won like the bracket, but again, he's a top 10 player in the world right now. Like he just has that full game. And again, Eric Davis, and now it's weird because this is round limited, right? So this is kind of Eric Davis's
wheelhouse.
So we expect him to do well in this. Mm-hmm. I want to see him again through 21. Like, are you going to put together that full season? But with round limited stuff counting just as much now, doesn't really matter. Like we have to really consider. I mean, Eric Davis is a top 10 player. Like if we're talking in terms of like pro finishes, easily. Mm-hmm. If round limited is taking as much weight, and it is.
Very true.
So, Matt Guy, it's nice to see. You know what I mean? That it can still be done. You know what I mean? Against, it seems like every fucking person in that building can roll a bag. Like I felt so out of place.
Well, you got to learn how to roll one. No, you don't. Don't do it. You don't have to.
Matt Guy, thank you, man.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Got to warm up with Matt Guy, like right next to the board and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, came over, chopped up. I mean, I know he gets like a bad rap like on the boards because he's a passionate guy.
He's intense. But
listen, when it comes down to it, like if he's not in the heat of the moment, he's a very approachable, very nice dude. Like I've always enjoyed Matt, and him and Brett are going to join the show again. I talked to Brett for a few minutes too, so they're going to be future guests here.
Of course, we'll bring him on.
Second in the bracket is a name that I think we need to start paying attention to because his name keeps popping up, and I wish I would have remembered to go and try to find him watch him throw in doubles. Ethan Farias, like it's just. His name keeps popping up, and I think it's time to kind of.
We've said it a couple times
put
recently.
Put him on the radar a little bit. Zach Aikens, another name that young gun just keeps popping up. Second in the bracket,
Zach Atkin. We said Zach Aiken.
Aiken, correct. Also second in the bracket, Jamie Graham and Ryan Trader. So Jamie Graham, I think he needed this. Like he doesn't go to that many opens.
Yeah, I was going to say if he takes the time to get out there, he better do something. And second in the bracket, it's a good showing.
It is exactly so. is worth his while. Ryan Trader, again, just continues to do really, really well. The dude's just always in the mix. And he's just a really tough out. And you watching him throw in person, his throw is down. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about the step over. Like, he wasn't the one being called for it. There were several times I got to witness the officials going to work, and it's
do they need a flag?
They do.
They do. Right?
They need something. Yeah. They need just to spice it up, just a smidge.
Like, just make it like more dramatic. You need something.
And like there needs to be like an official call of like what the penalty was.
Yeah.
Like you know, there needs to be a flag and be like
stepping over the line.
Yeah. Like a foot foul.
Like here, stepping over the line.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Ooh.
We can come up with it. Yeah.
That's gonna be our next video. Done. All right, we're done.
Too much time?
Yes. Yep. For sure. Third in the bracket, Trey Birchfield, Levi Haddock, a name we've been mentioning. Really good player out of Texas. I think we're going to be hearing his name a whole lot more this season. Adrian Brunson and Hunter Thorson. Fourth in the bracket, Gabe Dolan. So I love Gabe Dolan.
Love him too.
One of our favorite dudes. I did not run into him all weekend.
Dude, he's like on the
stealthy.
outskirts.
Yeah,
he
man.
is. Yeah,
but he's always a guy like I like to go up and talk to.
And he'll usually if he would have seen you, you know, he would have walked up to you. Like,
Gavin Cano, fourth in his bracket. Probably a little disappointing. He didn't seem to be like as sharp as I've seen him in the past, but I did get to talk to him for a few minutes, and he said he's feeling good and he's ready for like, you know, the big stuff.
Maybe he's just tired of this little stuff.
Probably.
He's ready for the big stuff.
Adam Hissner continues.
Speaking of big stuff.
Yeah. Adam Hissner, got to see plenty of him. Ironically, it was like every time I saw Adam, it was like in line to get a beer. So it was just weird how we kept timing up like that.
That is a strange coincidence.
And then Bryce Forbes. If you're not familiar with Bryce Forbes, again, follow the junior circuit this year. You're going to see his name a whole lot. He's really, really good. I believe he played doubles with Eric Davis, and he's a really good player.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's go down to doubles. So I got to watch
shout out to Matt Wilson too, fifth in the bracket.
Yeah, sure. The janitor. I got to meet him in person as well, like as advertised. Just the nicest dude in the world.
Dude. Yeah.
Like, really, really nice. So if we go down into doubles, I watched a good portion of it. Most of it I went live for I think the last 3 or 4 rounds for the B bracket. So I got to see a lot of those matches live. The overall finals was Logan Dupler and Levi Haddock, and they won over Jimmy Humans and Ian Cripps. Going into that match, man, I didn't think that anyone was going to beat Humans and Cripps. They put a hurting on Kano and Trader. Like, it was bad.
I mean, Ian Cripps, man, I'm telling you, kids just keeps going up and love to see Jimmy Humans put something together.
Yeah, you know, listen, Humans game is
he's
correct.
Been around, so
correct. And I honestly, they're a sneaky team, man. Like,
they kind of are a sneaky team.
Every year, like,
you're not going to miss them walking into a room.
And Cripps is like every year, Cripps keeps getting better.
Yeah,
and you pair him with someone as solid as Jimmy Humans. Like, he's a pro's pro. Like, he's going to come in, and you know where he's going to average around like upper 9s PPR for the day. He's going to hit some timely airmails. And you put together a run like this, like, it's a really good sign going into the pro season.
It definitely is. Is it time for like the Wonder Kid to finally just be like the Wonder Kid?
I think so.
I'm ready to see it, man. He's only gotten better.
Third in the bracket, we had Sebastian Schaffer-Ford and Jordan Power, and Gavin Cano and Ryan Trader. Now, I got to watch a lot of Sebastian Schaffer-Ford and Jordan Power. They were in the B. They won the B bracket.
Yeah. Can we actually? Can I just stop you for 1 second?
Sure. Go ahead.
I know. Just
the winners.
The winners.
I know.
They have a typo. It's Logan Duper.
Oh, it is.
Come on, guys. Let's get better.
You're
All right, moving on.
But no. But good point though. Logan Dupler and Levi Haddock are problems.
Oh, yes,
they're really fucking good.
Again, they made us look really smart because we've only talked about them every tournament.
And Dupler's like one of, if not the hottest player in the country right now. Like, it would put him and like maybe like Devin Harbaugh, but Harbaugh wasn't here.
He just seems to be that really young buck that's like turned it up, and
yeah, man. Like,
they seem to always do like pretty damn well in this shit, moving forward.
Yeah, he's playing really, really well. So, but I had the opportunity a lot to watch Sebastian Schaffer-Ford, Jordan Power. Man, I heard things about Sebastian before. Seabass, we'll call him.
Yeah.
Right, save ourselves some breath. I didn't really know anything about his game, but I kept hearing that he was really good. He was throwing Titan darts, right? Which are not like an overly fast bag on the carpet side.
No.
But he threw those bitches slick side down all day and was just masterful. Like, he is a tall drink of water, tall, lanky motherfucker, and he throws that bag, it seems like 25 feet in the air. And just the touch that he has with the bag on slick side is really impressive. Like, every bag was like just barely dripping in. And at one point, I think on live broadcast, I want to go back and count. I believe he was 13 for 13 in airmails. Like, he hit 13 straight airmails to the point where Jordan Power was like starting to lose it. Like, Jordan Power was like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, just, when Power feels confidence from the other side, he starts chirping more.
He turns it up, yeah.
And that's when he started talking. It was great. Like, super impressed. High PPR. Did not even consider blocking behind ever. You threw a block, he ripped an airmail, and he would just like stand there, and he would smile and chit chat with you afterwards and kill you with kindness. And it's like the kind of guy like, I don't want to like you right now because you just hit 4 out of 4 airmails out of my one block, and then I shanked the push and you got 4. Like, I don't want to like you right now, but you're a really nice dude. Yeah.
So like his game's kind of like Doug Zaft-esque when he was like,
no, because he can throw a slide shot. Like, he throws a little bit lower. He's not carrying the bag that far.
Yeah.
But his airmail is like, he throws slick side down airmail, and he just teardrop. Like, it never fucking hit anything. It's like he just had it, was just that locked in.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's.
And then Jordan Power was vintage Jordan Power. Down the middle, not doing anything fancy. He's going to block behind. He's going to hit timely airmails. And overall, he's just going to eventually beat you. They were really fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and great showing together. That's awesome.
For sure. Gavin Cano, Ryan Trader, just put 2 really good throwers together, and they're going to be fine. AJ Sims and Braden Wilson had a great weekend. I did live stream for one of their matches. Braden Wilson is really, really good. You watch him in person, and you're like, God damn, this kid is so accurate when he throws like that roll shot.
Oh, it's disgusting. He knows exactly where his rollbacks go every time.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
It really is. Like, they're one of those teams that they just, every time they show up, they're going to be a really tough out. And Sim seems to be locked in and like taking this very seriously. And they have potential to be like a top 5 team if they really break out.
Sims knows what he's got.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they have good chemistry. Why not build on it and see, be the best team there ever was? Let's go.
Another team that was super fun to watch throughout the day was Noah Almanza and Landon Crabtree. Crabtree is just, I never really talked to the kid ever. Seen him throw a few times. No, it is trippy as fuck watching him throw a bag at you, and when it spins the opposite direction. Little quirky spin. He's got like this really long routine where he's flipping the bag in his hand, stops, spins, grabs, and throws. Like, it's just quirky as hell, but he's really good.
Whatever floats your boat, man. I mean,
in the finals, I felt bad for Almanza because Almanza just didn't have his A+ stuff. Just was a little bit off and just couldn't kind of get it over. But
do you think we could see Almanza take down a title this year?
He's got to be sharper than what I saw in person. Like, does he have all the shots? Yes. He was not accurate with any of them. No, it's not the greatest sample size, but he was clearly frustrated. And it's not like, that's the moment that you have to have. That's why I always get so surprised when I don't see Tony Smith like in whatever he's doing in something like this. Yeah. Because Tony Smith never seems like he's like that far off on his stuff. Almanza had some really bad misses, but then he has some incredible recovery shots. So you're like, you see he has that professional throw, right? Yeah. That high revolution, can tilt the bag and everything. He just couldn't hit a roll. And I feel like he needs to abandon ship on some of that stuff and go back to like what he used to be really good at, which is just hitting airmails and pouring bags in the hole.
Block, push, replace, and hit airmails. Like, that was the name of his game.
Stop trying to manipulate every shot, and sometimes a straight shot's a smart shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Another name, if you were kind of venturing around asking people, like I was kind of asking, like, what's your pulse? Like, who are like the best? Like, who are players that you don't want to face right now? A common name that kept coming up was Spencer Fabunar. He took third in the bracket with Jacob Harrison. Yeah. Spencer is throwing really well, really, really well right now. He just took down another college doubles event. He's one of those guys that just, I feel like by the end of this year, I'm very excited to see where he's at, because he feels like he could be very close to taking that next step forward and like starting to really like take control of some of this stuff.
I mean, I hope so. That'd be nice.
Cody Henderson and Ethan Walker also took third in their bracket. Man, they have a super interesting dynamic. I think
but we're watching it grow in front of us.
Yeah, well,
and they're still winning games.
That's why they were clear in that championship match. There was some clear communication stuff going on where Ethan was not happy with what Cody was doing. It was very awkward at the end. I think it's very apparent to me that these guys are never going to be best friends.
They just got to learn from it.
But I think if they both embrace it, and if they're going to do this as like a business thing, Ethan Walker's going to stand on top of his shit right now. He's one of the top 5 best throwers in the league right now, I think. It comes to a question of which Cody Henderson are we going to get? And it can't be this question of like, I don't like the bags, and you have like pouty Cody. Cody just needs to embrace his fucking shit and realize that like you have this opportunity that was not present a few months ago, and you are now getting the privilege of throwing with one of the best players in the country. Make the most of it.
Get the bags back to
what did Adam do when he got paired with Birchfield? Made the most of it, right? Like he had a really good fucking season. I would love to see Cody grab life by the horns and just get back to being Cody Henderson again.
Yeah.
The league would be a lot better if those two together were making a lot of broadcasts. It would be a lot better. It would be a lot more fun.
Do you disagree in thinking that he should just focus on returning the bags right now?
Yeah, 100%.
To the best player. It's like, you do your part and hold down your end.
Yeah.
Don't worry about having to be a motherfucker and score a bunch.
I want to see Cody
Focus
Henderson
on doing the little shit.
Above, like I want to see Cody Henderson with like a 10-6 PPR.
Exactly. That's when he's most deadly.
Yeah.
Just slick bagging it, running you to death, and all of a sudden, boom, he just drops that block.
Correct.
And people are like, oh, shit. Okay, now I have to hit a shot. That's Cody Henderson.
Yeah.
But I feel like he kind of maybe pushes to manufacture sometimes right now. Like I saw it last season a couple times, but
a little bit.
Got to trust it.
Other notable teams, Samantha Finley and Elizabeth Tennyson had quite a day. They take their third in the bracket.
I love to see that, man.
Yeah, they were throwing very, very well together. And then Justin Burton Jr. and Logan Chamberlain also took third in the bracket. At one point in the day, I thought they were going to be the team to beat. But, third in the bracket, you lose a game when a close game, especially round limited, and it just happens.
Yeah, I mean, Logan gets easily distracted. So
fourth in the bracket, had a really nice run. Dalton McClem and Gina Ramirez are a team to consider for as like a pro doubles team to kind of watch out for. And I'm only saying that because Gina Ramirez with an unknown Chris Roybal last year. Now, Chris ended up showing up in singles as well, and is obviously a phenomenal player. Dalton McClem, though, has been a consistent qualifying pro every year that he's been in the league.
People underestimate how good McClem can be.
So I was live streaming a lot of their matches, talked to Dalton afterwards, and I'm like, so how do you feel about the season? He's like, I feel after this weekend, I feel a whole lot better. He's like, I didn't realize how good she can be. And Gina Ramirez, it's not a fancy game. It's down the middle. We're going to put a lot of bags in. I'm going to hit some air mails.
She's going to hit some air mails. That's it.
And then you watch Dalton throw, you're like, oh yeah, you are a pro. Like, you're really good. And you've been good for a long time.
And he's lefty, right?
No, he's not.
Oh, he's ready. Okay. Yeah. But he's got all the shots.
Yep.
And
got to give a shout out to the other one other fourth place bracket team, Terry Mathis, Corey Morrison, proud member of Team Big Ass.
Hell yeah.
Got to hang out with him a little bit. Bought him a Woodford.
A Woodford. He's such a nice gentleman.
Yeah, so he's a solid dude. And they were playing really well. They were very close to making they could have easily won their bracket.
Yeah.
They're very close.
Do you think we'll ever be able to get us two with Corey Morrison on one side and Matt Abernathy on the other?
Yeah,
we need to make that happen.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
I think that would be a gay old time. There'd be so many IPAs on that bar.
Oh my god!
We'd be like, don't take them away. We need a count.
Corey, I'm going to get Corey on the show.
Speaking of which, are you almost ready?
Yeah, I want to get Corey on the show. He's got a super interesting story about his primary sponsor, which is Kingsford.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, what goes better for cornhole than Kingsford, like the company?
Which one are you feeling?
You're gonna pick. Blind squirrel me.
You take that one. I just did a hazy, so I'll save you with the hazy for the next. I'll wait till you're ready.
All right, so let's do. You ready for dramatic readings?
Hell yeah!
All right, I might have you read them because my voice is starting to go again. You're good.
Okay.
In a world where bean bags have brought men to their knees, social media serves as sanctuary for keyboard warriors. Time for the dramatic readings.
I did get to cornhole. And funny enough, Sean, I took the same photo.
Did you?
I did. Tyler Parent. I find it kind of ridiculous the average player can't play against pros and opens anymore. You're telling me a asterisk X 5-year ACL Pro, 1 ACL Pro title, 2 Pro Crew Cup titles now has to spend an extra $500 to play Elite just so I can play in the highest division? Everyone I've talked to is super bummed about this. I was looking to hit a couple opens this season just to get back out there and have fun, but this new rule is making me question that.
So what do you think?
I think this is coming from an ex-pro, like you said.
Yes.
I understand that maybe he won't be able to go play with his buddies, but at the same time, there's new rules in place. You can still go play against good competition.
So so making this rule, who does this protect more?
This protects the 7.5 to 8.5 PPR thrower.
Like we talked about last week, right?
Yes.
I think so. Somebody made a mention. I think it was Eric Cherney, and he obviously he's in the know for like a lot of this stuff. Yeah. And he made a point of saying that the average player did not want to go to an open and face a pro. Like they just don't want to. Like they know going up to the board that they're going to lose. Like it's not a great experience.
Yeah.
So that's the average player. You're always going to have outliers on both sides, right? You're always going to have the best player there. You know what I mean? But then there's also the argument like, oh, this protects the pros. Like you don't want to have, it's not a great look. It's not a great look for the ACL if one of your pro players is going like tier 3 and
Very
guys
true.
like me are going tier 1.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? It's just not a great look.
It's true.
But it's also not a great look when you have non-ACL pros win an open.
Well, can they drop the slogan, anyone can play, anyone can win then? Because right now you're not allowing anyone to play at the highest level.
Well, you can still play. You just don't play against the pros.
Yeah. But it's you know.
So they're still allowing anyone to play and anyone can win their respected tier.
I just feel like that motto was more true when it was just a huge hodgepodge.
I don't think.
But I'm not mad at the separation. I don't.
I think Tyler Parent, being an ex-pro, right? He's coming at it from like, I want to go play with my friends again. Like, yeah. I don't want to. I get that, but you have to look at that is one out of like what every 1,000 players there are.
Exactly.
Like they have to look at. You have to look at the masses.
Now maybe allow like an honor system or something. Like, hey, if a former pro who had a signed contract with us, if another pro wants to like pick you up to like go play in an open, maybe they allow it.
No. Then pay $500. No, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like if I was an elite player and no, I don't give a shit if you're Tyler Parent. Like if you want to, I had to pay $500 to play.
But
here.
he made it.
You didn't make it back because guess what? Me and you are the same level.
But he
right
made
now.
it at one point.
Doesn't matter. Didn't make it last year.
I'm just trying to be devil's advocate.
No, I
agree with you 100%. Like,
no,
pay your money.
It's
I'm just trying to think of
situation.
another way to argue against them. There's really not. Like you said, just pay the money and you go play with your friends.
I don't think that this is a issue that's keeping people from showing up to tournaments besides guys like Tyler Parent.
Well, and you have to look at the circle that he's talking to about it. It's probably a bunch of other guys that maybe aren't pros anymore and some are still pros.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's who he's talking to about it.
The 30 people that are going to respond to this are not the 1,000 people that might still go to that event.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like that's my whole point is like, yes, it sucks for Tyler, but everyone else like doesn't want to just go there and get waxed. You know what I mean? Like
very true.
So I don't know.
I mean, shit, you and Tom were able to pull out some victories.
Yeah,
so,
correct.
I mean, something's going right. Are you ready for this guy yet?
Yeah,
can we
let's
crack
do that before we go to the next one. Here, go ahead.
You got to crack yours too.
I'm sorry,
man.
sorry.
Come on.
Sorry.
Were you at home?
Oh God, so wet.
All right, so this is Badger State Brewing. I'm drinking the musky Citra IPA. It's delicious.
I'm going to be having the Grassy Place Hazy IPA, also from Badger State Brewing. It is Juicy, tropical, fruity, and smooth. 6.7% alcohol.
Oh, yeah. What is my percentage? Where are you? Show yourself.
Oh, my God. After this, it's like nothing. It's like a Miller Lite. It's really good, though.
Oh, 6.9%. All right, I'm catching up to you.
Ooh.
Another banger,
Right.
Mr. Erickson.
So I had a really long ass.
Oh, can I guess who?
Go ahead.
Was it was it a reply to that post?
Yes.
From his name rhymes with Smitch Camness? No, okay.
No. I want to save this whole response for like next week, though.
Okay.
Like I want to
We can do that.
do it justice. There was one question that was posted by. Let me just pull it up real quick here. Jacob Lauder. He posted a question before. He had apparently here's the situation. He was partnered up with like a not a good thrower, right?
Okay.
So he said
Blind draw or what
in
are
a blind draw,
okay.
correct. So he had a terrible partner last night in a pretty big blind draw. He also had her the week before. The week before she averaged a 2.2 PPR.
Yeesh. All right.
Okay. So he drew her again, and then as soon as the draws came out, he had like 4 or 5 people flock around him, all giving him kind of shit, like oh, that sucks. Well, apparently she overheard some of the stuff, and she fucking left.
Okay.
What should happen in that scenario to the player who's left? Like now, this guy is now just left there standing. Like, should he be allowed to play as a walker? Should he be refunded his money? Like, like, if you were the director, you're running a league. What happens, or if you're running the blind draw, what would you do in that situation?
So
he did not do anything to.
He didn't do it. Yeah.
Force that lady. He didn't go up and be like, "Hey, you should leave."
Yeah.
And if I win, like, I'll split the money. There's none of that shit going on.
And I've actually been in this situation.
Okay. All right.
Where I was at a blind draw, at a local bar.
Okay.
I drew the lady that's never played in anything.
Anytime I go to a blind draw, that's what I get.
And I had a great time. We actually won our first game.
Yeah, which is way better.
Yeah. So like it was awesome. She didn't realize that like after you lose, like it was double elimination. So we lost, and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna like go out to the bar and get a beer. Like it was nice playing with you." I'm like, "Well, we'll have another game." She's like, "Okay, bye." Then she just left. Never came back.
Which could definitely happen if you just have some random.
So in that situation, they just said sorry and took my money, and that was it. But I think what should happen,
Are you
depending
serious?
on, yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
So then, depending on, the only problem was there weren't that many teams there.
Okay.
And our one win put us like kind of deep in the bracket, so like it screwed some shit up. Like
so, let you be a walker then.
so that was my argument, but that would have been fair. But
So what-
I think the only honest way to do this
Okay.
would be just cut him out. It's always like a double forfeit for your team and give him his money back. Then you add her money into the pot since she left.
Is it too much? I mean, that's why I don't know.
You can't just go redraw.
Well, no. I'm not saying redraw. What if you do something like where, man, I don't know. Like can you take their partner's like average PPR and like that's what you have to deal with on the other side?
Like there is a way to put like a ghost in on that side,
Right.
but like
But then you're letting one player throw to an open board every time. Yeah,
and they're
it's
just
tough.
sliding in 4 bags like on somebody that's throwing a 2. You have no
Yeah.
chance. Like why would you even want to try that? So to me, like it sucks, but at least get your money back. Like that's because you're saying big blind draw. That to me means that there's like 20 plus teams.
I don't know. Part of me thinks like just let him be a walker. If it truly wasn't that like there was no shenanigans going on, there's no collusion.
If there was no other walker, there's a chance that could work. If there's another walker, maybe you just pair those two together.
Something.
You have one less team or something. I don't know.
Who
Who knows, man?
You want to cue that rap horn?
I guess.
Do it.
get real loud for you folks at home.
Oh, thanks. All right, so you can reach us at Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Big Asp Cornhole.
And Facebook at Big Asp Cornhole Podcast. Thanks to our sponsor, Draggin Bags. Once again, Sean's got the hat. They make you look sexy. They make you throw sexy. So go get sexy over at dragginbags.com. Code BIGASP12 will save you money.
And if you want to see what we're talking about, you're like, oh, I want to see Sean's sweet hat.
Yeah.
Well, if you go to patreon.com/bigaspcornhole, for the price of a beer a month, you can get access to the videos and all the bonus content that we do. We have 3 different tiers. So just come check it out. It's patreon.com. You can even sign up for free and just see if you like what's going on there. Now, I will throw it out there. A lot of the stuff I post on Patreon does not go to to the people who pay for free. But if you want to just check out the site, make sure that it's like legit, you can sign up for free. And guess what? If you love our stuff and you're a Patreon member, right? Let's say your subscription's coming up and you're like, I want to redo it, but I don't know. You can actually get this for Christmas this year. Somebody can gift this for you.
Holy crap.
So make sure you're paying attention to our Facebook page. I'm going to post a link. You can share it to your loved ones if you'd like. And they can get you a Big Asp Patreon subscription for Christmas this year, because we know that's what's on your list for Santa.
I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Wow. Because guess what my wife's getting?
Dude, I could get that for Amy.
Right?
Done.
Everyone in our family is getting a Big Asp Patreon.
Yay.
Yeah, I just need your credit card information ahead of time.
Let's go ahead and jot it down. We'll be all set.
But we just had a happy hour last night. We do bonus episodes. We ask questions. If you're basically trying to get in contact with me, it's the best way to do it. Go to patreon.com/bigaspcornhole. We greatly appreciate your support, and we love all of our current ass polls to death. And I can't say enough. Like, it's still weird for us, and I think I speak for you too, when we go to tournaments and people stop us.
Oh, for sure,
right?
dude.
And I know
It'll
we've been
never
doing this
get
for a
old.
while, but like, it's still like when I'm like just going to the bathroom or something, someone will stop and be like, hey, like, just want to call us, love the show, like, love the content, like, keep doing what you're doing. Like, that means the world to us. So everyone that stopped me this weekend got like an exclusive, like, one-off, like, Big Asp, like, sticker. And the thing is massive.
That one.
It's huge.
Huge.
Dane, can you put it next to your face, like, there, just for, yeah,
Huge.
it's big. It's big. So, but yeah, so if you stopped and said something positive, thank you very much. It doesn't go unnoticed, and stuff like that, like those interactions, like, make it
Keeps us
easier to keep
keeping
doing.
on.
Yeah, man. Like, it's great. It's nice to know, like, people like the content that we're putting out there. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a kick-ass week, and I hope you guys enjoy this freaking interview.
I'm about to.
Dude, I'm so excited for this interview. This guy
still
was
got
super interesting.
Full beers and another full beer ready to rip.
Yeah, correct. So we're just fueling ourselves. We're actually waiting for him to finish up his current blind draw, but you guys hold tight. We'll wait for you, and we're gonna fast forward. And when you right after, yeah. So as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later. Welcome back to the Big Asp Cornhole Podcast. We are now joined by Mr. Seabass himself, Mr. Sebastian Schaffer-Ford. What's going on, man?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Good. So you just got out of league, right?
Yes.
How'd the league go?
We do at the Barb City Baggers. Actually, we do. We're actually practicing that workshop. We host a league of like 16 people.
Nice. So what you guys do like unique way, right? Like, don't you guys do? Is it like a switch or something like that?
Yeah. So we do 4 rounds of rounders, kind of like random. Everybody gets a different partner, and then it gets seeded into a single elimination bracket. So points for the league. So based on your rounders finish, you get points, and then based on your bracket finish, you get points, and then whoever has the best standings at the end, we get paid out.
Sweet. And you got paid out tonight?
No, so we are actually only in like the 5th week of our league. I think we're
okay. So it's like a
7
final
more.
payout. Okay, all right, that's kind of fun.
I like that. Yeah, it just builds up.
Good group of people.
Oh, 100%. I actually love the Barb City guys like Jake Fisher, Miguel Zacazzi, the Fensky boys. A lot of advanced players. Merrick Fensky is actually sponsored by Swags, and then Anthony Stover, who was actually at the last Open with me.
Okay, very cool. What area are you out of?
I'm in Naperville, Illinois, so I like to consider myself the suburb boy.
The suburb boy. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Like when people say I'm from Chicago, I'm like, that's a hard no. I'm just like not a city guy, but I am affiliated with Chi-Town Baggers. But I always like to make it known that I'm from the suburbs.
All right, so suburb boy with the hat. Like, have you always been like cowboy hat dude?
So this actually started late in not this past Worlds, but the year before that. I want to say it was the Milwaukee Open.
Okay.
I just got word that we were going to be there, and this is actually my dad's hat. It's been sitting in his closet since it was like a honeymoon gift. That's what he told me it was. And it was just collecting dust, and I was like, I kind of want to rock that. I was just in binge watching Walker Texas Ranger, and I'm like,
fuck yes,
nothing wrong with that.
Dude, I grew up on Walker Texas Ranger. Like, we would get home from school.
Chuck Norris turned
every
Sean
day,
into a man.
My grandfather would be sitting on the couch, and he'd be watching that show. And I have the fondest memories of watching Chuck Norris. Just
for me, it was actually Las
people.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Las Vegas was.
That was the morning routine, though.
Yeah. That's true. Very true.
Correct.
Yeah, so the whole story of that is I didn't even let my dad know I was taking the hat. I just took it. He saw me rocking it at Worlds, and he goes, I got to say, you look pretty damn good in that hat. It's better than just collecting dust. And the next thing you know, it's becoming this marketing tool for bags.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's perfect.
Now, are you like a similar build to your dad?
No, my dad's a little bit huskier than me.
Okay.
But it's only 6'4". I'm 6'7", and then my mom's tall as well.
I'm sorry.
Only 6'4". Sean over here is like, that man is a full foot taller than me.
Okay, so let us tell you, in the house of little people, our mom is 4'11", and our dad is 5'2". So I was a giant at 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah.
And then he I don't know if my mom.
I come in at 6'1", so I'm more like normal height.
Yeah.
And then, but then I turned around and married a woman that is only maybe 4'10" on a good day. I don't know. She's really short.
Crazy. Hell yeah. So how did you first get involved in this game in general?
So it was introduced to me in a backyard party with one of my cousins, Jim, and then my uncle Bruce.
Okay.
Just a tailgate set. My uncle actually made the boards and provided the corn bags. And
okay.
Every single day from 7th grade till I would say I was a junior in high school, where, I was blessed with him living next door to my other aunt, uncle, and my grandparents on my mother's side.
Okay.
So as long as I was showing that my homework was completed, he left me a garage key to get in the garage, and then every single day after school, just practice with the tailgate set. And it wasn't until maybe 2 years after that going on, my dad would look up tournaments, and we'd go. And then one day I ran into this Midwest Baggers group that Rudy Rutherford was running in the Illinois area, where I finally met Chris Novi. And then from there was when I was introduced to the double-sided feature of the game, and Chris Novi took me under his wing.
So you've been playing for a while then?
Overall, since tailgate set, 19 years, but 10 years for the double-sided bags.
Okay, I mean, but okay,
that's still
10 years. You're
way ahead of the curve.
You'd be considered an OG. I would say, honestly,
definitely an OG.
That's crazy.
Some would say I was around when it was Venom bags, but not like a Titan Venom. It was like a duck cloth and suede side with beer belly bags.
Yeah,
before all
for sure.
different brands came out.
Yeah,
it's definitely evolved. I'll say that.
So, when all right. So don't take this the wrong way. I was super impressed by you this past weekend. Have you always been this good, or did you just recently get to a new level where I can compete against the best?
So yeah, I'm gonna be very honest with this answer.
Yeah, please.
So a lot of people would argue that I was good. Take my pro partner David Morris for perfect example.
Okay.
Would always say I'm capable of beating anybody. He always thought I had the shots. But what I lacked tremendously was the mental game. And I always went back to the 3 T's: time, technique, and talent. And I always said, well, I don't have time for this. Therefore, I wasn't giving myself the chance to get the proper technique, to have the confidence to say I have the talent. And regardless of how many times I doubted myself, Chris Novi's, the Jay Rubins, the David Morrises would constantly remind me, dude, you have what it takes. You're just not putting in the right amount of time and effort to really show your skill set. But when I finally started putting myself first, outside of everything that's not cornhole related, I really wanted to dive in this last year and said, you know what? Life is not promised. So it's time to, just see if I can at least get that pro card.
Okay.
What I do with it, we'll figure that out. But this last year and a half, when Chauncey at least took a chance on me, and I think that was a big thing of, am I going to have a sponsor to like kind of like have some faith in me?
For sure.
And sure enough, Chauncey gave me that chance, and I would say from there on, knowing that I had somebody backing me helped me realize I could be a little bit more confident, and then at least to owe it to myself to put legit effort. So to honestly answer your question, I would say I've evolved within the last year and a half when I decided to dedicate.
Was that when you say dedicate, was that just increasing the amount of like practice time? Were you just going to more events?
A bit of everything, honestly.
Okay.
Attendance, practice time, 2 to 3 hours a day at bare minimum.
So what were you doing before all that then? Like what was your normal? Like were you like a once in a while kind of guy? You just go out there and, like just remind everyone that like, hey, I still got it.
Yeah, I would say, I was working a different job. I was working a warehouse job, like
Okay.
the 6 a.m. to 2:30 shift.
Oh, that's tough,
And
man.
then, go to a blind draw, and then you're just playing blind draws throughout the week, and then work catches up to you, and then it's just like, all right, I'll play on the occasional weekend, but then you get caught up in the money aspect of it. Like, ooh, cool, I'm making $1,000 a month playing blind draws or whatever. But then you realize, are you truly getting better because you're winning? And when you start diving into the players next to you, and Jay's a perfect example of this before he became who he is, like over time, I see him practicing all these different shots and dedicating to his craft. At that point in time, I wouldn't say he was too concerned about winning a basic blind draw. He was more worried about, I'm using this time to practice certain scenarios. I'm purposely setting up, trying these scenarios for a bigger picture. And that was before we even had a pro division in the ACL. Like he was just wanting to hit the craziest shots, and same thing with Chris Novi. So I would say playing amongst those two definitely helped evolve my craft versus just trying to win, like, practicing these scenarios for a bigger picture.
Hell yeah.
Is that okay? Like
I know.
Is that Jigsaw next to you?
Yes, he is. He's in the background.
Yes, that is my Jigsaw.
Okay, all right. Okay, like I could barely see the cheek. Like every once in a while I would see it. I'm like, okay, I'm like, I just got to say something. Because if you're watching the video, everyone's going to see that.
Yeah, you're just, I was trying to ignore
call it out,
because he was just giving such beautiful answers.
That's just not me. If I see it, I'm just going to ask it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that one, and then there's another one here behind me.
Oh, there you go.
Shit. Okay. All right. So
I use them. Like I said, I'm sitting in my truck, so I kind of keep those in my truck.
That's
in case you ever need them. I get it.
It's like that's better than like, what did they used to call that? Do you remember like on your steering wheel, like to prevent theft? Like, that thing, like it's better than that.
I was like, wasn't the club or something?
Yeah.
Like,
you know what I'm talking about though?
Kias have to use it now.
Do they really?
Yeah, they're back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Kias are getting jacked, so they got to put that like weird like steering wheel thing on their
That's
shit.
So crazy. I did not realize you were like out of that area. So it's kind of crazy. I was just thinking, I don't think Dave Morse has ever been on this show.
No, he's never been on.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Shit.
And we've known him for a very long time.
What a crime!
Because he's originally like from our area, and he comes to like a lot of the Cleveland regional, like at least a few times a year.
Yeah, good lord.
So
definitely got to get him.
He's
on
good.
sometime.
Yeah, so
that's terrible.
I didn't realize
Shame on us.
that crew, but yeah. It's interesting. So what was your experience? What was it like playing with Power this weekend, and how did you guys partner up? Like it seems like a very random pairing.
Yes, totally random. So without putting everybody's business out there, because I don't know every detail anyway, I know his partner Cheyenne had something to attend to, and then as well as my partner had something else. So I was honestly going to cancel. I was like, well, do I really want to go for just singles with it being round limited?
Yeah.
And Jordan had reached out to me, and he goes, I saw you were, singles bracket. You're going to be there anyway. Would you want to team up? And I'm like, well, it's not every day that, you get asked by a world champ to partner up. So I was like, yeah, we'll give it a shot. And I actually knew Jordan from when he used to be a part of the Great Lakes Conference before.
Yeah,
he moved
I figured.
out to Carolina.
Yeah.
So I was familiar with him a little bit, but yes, we both definitely have different play styles. verbally and executionally.
But you guys were vibing.
You got
so
his motor
well.
running, man.
You guys, I thought you guys hit it off really well. Now, obviously, winning helps that tremendously. I understand that, but like you guys were clearly having fun.
Oh, absolutely. I told them, it was just an honor to be able to play, partner up with them. And, I tried to be a little bit more careful with it being round limited. So I played with that little bit of extra pressure. But then I was like, at the end of the day, it's a game. And he knows a little bit about me. I know a lot about him as far as, his playing capabilities. And I know he likes to run his mouth, and that's part of his game. And me, I kind of let the bags do the talking. So I try not to get too hyped in the middle of a round. It's just not me.
Well, my favorite part during the live stream were you throwing bags was getting him hyped, because at one point you went like 13 for 13 for airmails, and you went on this run, and eventually Jordan was just like, every time you hit one, he's like, oh my God, just like losing his shit, and like it got everyone excited. So I thought you guys vibed very well. It was very fun to watch. Is that your typical play style? Like, are you just like a live or die airmail guy?
So I used to overuse it.
Okay.
And it would put me in unfortunate situations, but typically now I like to run bags. I'm more of a slick side player now.
Yeah.
I actually used to never throw stick side, and David was one of those players a long time ago. He goes, dude, throw slick. It will be okay. And I was like, man, I throw too low and hard, and it was zooming off the back. But then I flipped it over, and I've never flipped it back. I just said, you know what? Why complicate it? Run bags. If I leave a blocker on slick side, it's easier to push. And,
you have phenomenal touch, man. Like it's almost like cheating. Like I always say, like you guys that are like so tall, you could basically reach halfway there anyways.
You're just flicking your middle finger in that bag.
Someone that's short and fat like me, I have to do it takes like some athletic skill. Like you could basically just set the bag.
Yeah, it's not only the forward force, it's the around.
But it's the touch that you have that I was super impressed with. And again, when you were getting rolling on the airmail, it was fun to watch. Like people were throwing their first bag, actively trying to block, and then you were ripping 4 straight airmails, like not just one round, like several rounds in a row. Like it was super impressive.
Nothing that we've ever done.
No, fuck no. It was fun to watch that.
Thank you.
It's very fun. And you're like I said, like Jordan is he's a trash talker, but he's more of like a motivational trash talker. Like he's not necessarily directed necessarily at somebody. You are more of a kill your opponent with kindness kind of guy. It seems like you're not afraid to have a conversation in between rounds and stuff like that. Like that's like Dane's like MO for sure.
Yes.
Like you very much reminded me of that.
Yeah. I haven't really brought that other part of me to the bigger venues yet, like back in at home in like blind draws and whatnot. Like there will be goofy tactics, but that's also because it's a blind draw where take Frankie and Jeremy, they're one of the elite teams out of our area. Like they know when I shoot an airmail, even before it hits, we'll scream like, yeah. And that's like one of our things. So I haven't developed enough confidence because I was like, man, I'm knowing me. I'm going to do that the first time and I'm going to miss it. And you're going to look like an arrogant asshole.
It's all right. But, you're allowed. But as long as you hit it every once in a while, then you're allowed to do it. I'm sorry. It's just confidence.
I think I completely forgot to mention it during like our recap of everything.
Yeah.
But in one of your guys' match, I think it was in the finals, you guys were playing Crabtree and Almanza. And as the match was about to start, apparently Crabtree has like an MO of being like one of the slower players in the league.
Yeah.
So Jordan Power made it very known that I'm going to get an official. I'm just letting everyone here know I'm going to get an official. I want like them to check the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I asked Crabtree, who was sitting down. Actually, you were throwing against Landon at our end.
Yes.
And Landon even said to us both, and he's like, happens to me all the time. It doesn't even bother me anymore. He's like, I want to be faster. He's like, I'm trying to be faster, but he's like, it is something inside my head that I can't get past, which I thought was very funny. But then ironically, and it's called Cornhole Karma, Jordan Power actually got called he gave up a big round because he stepped over the lines.
It'll get you.
You call an official
Cornhole
over.
Karma.
It happens
coming
sometimes.
for us all.
Well, actually, he foot fouled, and then instead of getting a 12, he got a 9. And I think he actually scored a point.
Yeah,
So
he
instead of
did. Oh,
scoring
you're right.
four,
You're right.
he got the point. So
You're
I was like, well, at least you got a point. No,
Yeah,
you got a
correct.
foot foul.
Yeah, Almanza did not have his best. So yeah, it was super very entertaining. Very entertaining on that part.
Hell
All
yeah.
right, so we have some listener questions.
You know, I have a great question to ask
Please.
you just off the cuff while we're looking these up. If you were to die tomorrow but come back a bird, what bird would you be?
A bird?
He asked me
Yeah.
the same question yesterday, by the way, so no pressure.
Well, maybe just because we would probably see eye to eye. I'm just going to go with an ostrich.
Oh, all right.
Dude, fantastic answer. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, Dane, you want
Ostrich.
to tell everyone what you would come back as?
Oh, man. Mine's, I think I'd be a barn owl.
A barn owl?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Just, I mean, astute, kind of nocturnal
Okay.
because I'm kind of a night owl. And, yeah, I just, I'm a hunter secretly,
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm a killer. You would never expect it.
Fair enough. Interesting. What did you think I was going to be?
So my wife and I came up with two options for Sean, and we said mine was peacock.
Obviously.
Badass. They like to show it off.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure. You got it. Flaunt
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Like,
And then my
why-
wife said,
don't try to hide it.
My wife said flamingo, which I think is kind of similar.
I mean, it's half my summer wardrobe.
And you're known to like a shrimp or two, and that's their
Fuck
favorite
yeah.
food. I mean, that's why their
Nah, listen,
skin's pink.
I can't
So,
argue with either one. I'm
Right?
fine with that.
Yeah. So, and I think both of those were great choices. But ostrich for you, that's thanks for knowing an ostrich is a bird. Because I feel like some people listening might be like, "Pfft, you mean that dinosaur? Or something? I don't know. Like just,
A lizard?
yeah. Just,
How did you get, like, you kind of first came on my radar because Chauncey reached out and he's like, listen, I have this new dude I'm sponsoring. He's a total character. He dresses up and shit when he's playing contests. And I'm like, what? I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, whatever. Well, then I started looking into it because, like, I'd seen your name in brackets before, like it opens. So I'm like, well, obviously, if I'm noticing your name, it means you're like among like the top 4 or 5. You know, you're taking somewhere first to 5th place, right? So really, what I kind of like try to lock into to see like who's relevant. And I'd seen your name there before, and I started looking. I'm like, holy shit, he's got pictures of himself like in full fucking costume at a cornhole tournament, like. Are you throwing like with mask and everything on, or do you take the mask off at least when you're playing?
No. So if I'm dedicated to my outfit, I'm throwing with that mask on. And the only thing that I can see is right in front of me. So if somebody like take Landon Crabtree, since we brought him up several times, if he's doing his little routine,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be able to tell. My peripheral vision is completely blocked.
Does it help at all having like that tunnel vision?
So I would say arguably going through that COVID era when we actually had to wear the mask.
Yeah.
I hated the scrub pulling on my ear. So I actually handcrafted a lot of my masks before I
shit.
decided to go into the full outfit. And it actually gave me tunnel vision because it made me focus on where I wanted to hit. The only thing
shit.
that was at that point was muscle memory. So just, all right, this is what I'm going to do. This is where I'm looking. Then you stop looking at like random stuff in the crowds. Like if somebody does something stupid and you know, like me, it's like my attention span, like, ooh, squirrel. So now I'm looking over at stuff that doesn't matter and instead of focusing on the game.
but do we think the ACL would let you wear like a Jason mask on like, the live?
So-
broadcast?
Maybe not because it's trademarked. I would imagine, right?
Just go grab a regular hockey mask.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That
What
would
can
be
they
sweet.
say?
That would be kind of sweet. Just
So
do your own thing.
that's a fantastic question. I actually brought that up to Mike before I left, and I told him, I'm like, look, I don't know if I don't want to violate dress codes or anything like
Yeah.
that. I mean, as silly as I think a dress code is, but whatever.
They allow
neither here nor
pajama
there.
pants, so I think you should be allowed to go costume.
Yeah, I think you can go with a costume.
Yeah, I asked him. I was like, well, what? I mean, does it say anywhere that I can't wear a mask? Technically, no. Now, would it fall under the rule of not being able to distract your opponent? Clothing-wise, he said that shouldn't count.
Yeah,
As
correct.
long as you're not making like gestures when somebody's throwing or noises, then obviously that's self-explanatory. But he goes, we can try it out. And he goes, whether you can get on there like on a live court with it or, like televised court, that might be a question for somebody else in that department.
I don't
But
see why you couldn't though.
I mean, you know what would be hilarious though? They call his name, and then you're wearing the jigsaw outfit, and you just come out on a little red
Dude.
tricycle.
You had a tricycle,
That,
like
actually, that is in the back of my truck.
that's what I'm saying. Like
That's
I see
what
a
I'm
picture.
saying.
Like
that would be so epic. that you would just instantly have a huge
that
following.
would be something. Honestly, it would be something
overnight.
It would be something, memorable.
Exactly. Like that's
You know
the kind of like viral edge, and just somebody willing to take a leap like
here's
that.
The difference
that the sport's
I'm not saying that
for.
like cornhole needs to become like professional wrestling with all this like drama and over the top.
I want it, Sean.
Also, I'm saying you can have some of it as long as those people back it up with skill on the boards. Yeah. If we're still going to see very high level games, then fuck yeah, everything before that matters. But if you're going to have people acting like clowns and then they play like clowns on the board, then it doesn't fucking matter.
Very true.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so that you still have to be really fucking good.
It is so funny you brought up professional wrestling.
Please, okay, why?
So when I was 20 years old, they had like the Tough Enough program that linked into the WWE, and I actually auditioned for that. Now I didn't make it to Tough Enough, like to their program, but I said, I have to work for the rest of my life. What would I enjoy doing? This was when I was still coming out of my shell and trying to develop some sort of charismatic personality, if you will. But that's what I wanted to do. And then I just had to accept the fact, okay, I'm built like a twig. I'll probably get snapped in half, or I'll be a glorified jobber, even if I made it, whatever. But being able to run this circuit of cornhole and then come up with these different characters, like granted, I didn't create Jigsaw, I didn't create the Clown, but I got to create the Slim Reaper, I got to create the Chef, and I want to bring those characters to life. So to your point, okay, I wouldn't say going 2-2 in singles is a bad day, but if people get entertained by it and you can still put on a hell of a game, why not?
It draws a crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes it interesting. It's a talking point. And like in a game where we're ultimately throwing beanbags at a board, like I think talking points are a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And again, like if you were wearing a cowboy hat and you were throwing a 6 PPR as a pro, like you would see it like a gimmick. But then when you look at your stats and like, oh, Andy's fucking winning, like, oh, okay, then people have to take you seriously. And I think like this weekend was a big step in showing that like, hey, you did throw with someone like Jordan Power and you guys performed as you guys should have because you're both talented people. So I think it just legitimizes a little bit.
I 100% agree.
Let me just pull up the name here real quick. Rhonda Owen wants to know, what was your favorite costume that you played in?
I mean, well, I would say the most recent one, Art the Clown, was fun just because of the concept of the movie. If you know the Terrifier, the guy doesn't talk. So not talking for 6 hours was a challenge. And it was just funny that Tony Mayball, like if people wanted to go back and watch that match, he did win, but you could just tell he was getting a little frustrated, but like the mannerisms of acting like a mime mid-match, that I would say was the most fun. But for originality purposes, I'd have to go back to my chef outfit. It was the first one that I created with the apron, and I had all the different shots on the apron. Like a slider was worth $3. It was like points per price. Over the top wings was an airmail, chop block, rolls. Like all the shots that you could ask for in the game was created by the chef. And that was my original creation, and I do want to bring it back. It's just now that I got the cowboy hat, and that's part of like a
I like that
thing that we're working on. It's hard to walk away from it.
And now you're just be the Texas chef. There you go.
You're right.
Just keep on the cowboy hat. Done. Sold.
All right. So Corey Morrison, proud Team Big Ass member here. He wants to know, what's your favorite beverage while pitching bags?
I don't drink, so I don't drink alcohol at all.
Okay.
But as far as I can't really say I drink and play at the same time. It's one of those things like, okay, if I take a break in between a match, I might go get a soda, I might go get a water, but other than that, I will not eat in between matches. I will not drink. I just kind of just tough it out, and you don't want to get into that food coma or drink coma or whatever.
I feel like we're being personally attacked.
I just don't even think about it.
Yeah, it's like, excuse me, that's my MO. All right.
All right. So I'm super interested on this because like I don't know the backstory at all, but I feel like there's a story here that we need to hear. So Tommy Slicker wants to know, did you fart on Trevor Brooks on purpose to make him miss in the pro qualifier a year ago?
So, man. So one of the tactics yes, when I was playing against Trevor Brooks in the pro qualifier, my thing is now we all talk about the mental part of the game, you know,
for sure.
focusing up and whatnot. And I understand people have their posse that like to cheer and whatnot. So in theory, I wouldn't say I farted on Trevor Brooks. I more so was aiming that missile at his posse or crowd of fans that were
they're loud and proud, yes.
And just and oh no, it wasn't loud. It was quiet.
No, I'm saying his posse is loud and proud.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I was just fanning it towards them. Now, if he happened to notice it, I mean, that was neither here nor there. So it actually wasn't meant for him. But apparently somebody said he noticed me fanning it, and you know, he happened to notice, and then he eventually shanked a bag. But and you know what the funny part is Trevor actually asked me to partner up for this season. We actually ran into each other at Worlds, but I don't know if he really remembers that incident, if you will, but we've been very cool. You know, every time we run into each other, he's a character in his own right.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. Trevor is like a heat of the moment kind of guy, but then if you get to see him off the boards, he's like so down to earth and like very, very cool dude to talk to.
Yeah, just don't
like intense, but like
Sean got roped into like having to take shots with him. He was scared.
Oh yeah, I don't drink, so I'll let him do his thing. But
I was on an innocent trip back to my car just to grab something real quick, and Trevor Brooks saw me in the parking lot, and he's did one of his like mirror. You know what I mean? Just mirror. Like didn't even give the whole like come here, like just mirror. I'm like, all right, walked over there. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, you're the podcast dude, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, you're gonna have a drink with me, and not like, hey, would you like a drink? Like I'm having one. Like you're gonna have a drink with me. I'm like, all right, I guess we're doing this.
Thank you,
and
sir.
I see him bust out a bottle of like, I think it was Jack. I can't remember if it was Jack or Jim. And he just started pouring it into like a fucking red Solo cup. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, all right, you can stop. Please stop. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Like I'm gonna drop dead right here. So yeah, so luckily I was able to finagle myself. He got a phone call, and I was able to pull the old Irish exit and just fucking walk off.
I thought you were gonna be like, hey.
Yeah, I just booked it. I was straight pussy, just fucking booked it. All right. Trenton Combs wants to know favorite horror villain / movie.
Ooh. Well,
do you want to do this as a tier talk for you? I feel like this would be a you two thing. Like I don't really, I could go villain, but not horror. Like I don't know enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. We can workshop some stuff. Like what? I mean, obviously you like the Terrifier.
Yeah, I like the Terrifier. I do like Jigsaw. To me, Michael, Jason, Freddy, those are just too basic, and I can't get behind. I mean, Michael was a.
See, I love the
Michael.
I love the originals, man. Like to me, like Freddy is still by far the scariest of all time, in my opinion.
I can't get behind Freddy. Just the thought of somebody like
the man can just kill you in your dreams. All right, you're not running away from him.
You can't
kill him in your dreams.
Hey, if you watch my Facebook, you know I hardly sleep, so that guy ain't gonna get to me anytime.
That's exactly how you beat him. So you're ahead of the game. All right.
But I just like the storyline behind the Jigsaw. I mean, the puppet's kind of hilarious, but let's not forget about the pig that's in the movie too. That actually goes around tranquilizing people.
Yeah,
but,
very true. You know, sets it all up.
Art the Clown. Art the Clown massacring people and putting that face on while he's doing it. That's
now, are you like a Pennywise fan?
Yeah, Pennywise just didn't do nothing for me.
Like again, that's one like the original did it for me. The new one, it was okay. Not like horror though.
Right.
Like to me, it's just not what I was expecting. All right, so I'm trying to think like homage like to horror, especially recent. Like you got to give ups to like Human Centipede. That shit was so messed up that like it scared people. It scared me. But is there like
the thought of it? Yeah, the second one was kind of lame.
I'm not bringing up. Did I say Human Centipede 2? Like I didn't bring up like Saw 2 through 7. All right, like Saw 1.
Saw 1 was
loved
fantastic.
it. Saw 2 was okay. It just kind of like kept getting worse and worse.
And I'm not even like a horror guy.
Saw 1 was great.
Saw 1, I went with a girl who in high school, like I I was into, but
Yeah.
like we clearly had no.
But she
similar
was
interests,
into
but she
the weirds, the occult.
yes, but
you
I
know?
thought she was super hot, so I'm like, I'm gonna go with Merritt.
Merritt, of course.
And she dragged me to this
Sean,
movie.
You didn't even have to say her name. I already knew.
My God, when I left the theater, I'm like, what the fuck did we just go watch? I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen.
Sean just
kinda
like
crazy.
Merritt because she had bongo drum boobies. Yeah, like literally,
Dude,
you could just like.
I did it for my
play a beat
grandfather.
on 'em.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. He loved her.
He was so excited when she showed up at my graduation party. It's like I talked to her for an hour. I'm like, I know. I
Yeah.
think the entire fucking
You didn't
party,
talk to her.
Yeah.
You talked to them.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
I think the entire party saw you talking. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, what else? Like, what other ones? Like, what brings you back? Like, give me like a nostalgic one, like Pinhead. Like, did that one like freak you out?
I wouldn't say it freaked me out. No.
Are you
I mean, it was a good
an
character.
Exorcist movie guy? Like, do you like any of those movies?
The Exorcist, I watched the original one. That one was a good one.
Have you seen any of the
But
like the newer
it's just
ones?
Like, so paranormal stuff I like, but
Okay.
Paranormal Activity was lame.
Oh yeah,
I did like the which one is it? The Conjuring.
Conjuring. Yeah,
like
that-
the Nun and Annabelle.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, that
honestly,
whole series was cool.
Conjuring to me was the one that was kind of the like revamp of that whole paranormal.
What
for,
are
like,
your
our gen.
what are your favorites? Like, what are your go-to?
Oh, I've always been the Saw. Like
Okay.
that was just my favorite.
Okay.
All
Fair
the
enough.
way through, and I've heard they're going to make another one, so I'm
Oh, are they
excited
really?
to see where that plot goes. But
What did
nah,
you
they
think of
just, like, I
Jigsaw?
couldn't get like the. What was that?
What did you think of Jigsaw? I actually never saw that one. Like the movie Jigsaw.
Oh yeah, the movie. So that one was actually pretty good. It was like a prequel, so that's how like they systematically put it in the timeline, and it's like one of those horror movies that make you think like, damn, it's like an actual puzzle. Like so,
Yeah, and I heard
Jigsaw was
that. I heard that
technically
about that one.
even if, and it just has a good plot. So that's why I was able to get behind it a little bit better. Like
Maybe that's the
Chucky
one I'm
and
missing.
Child's Play. Like I just don't find anything horror about a doll going around.
Correct, right? Wouldn't you just kick
somebody's-
in the face and tell them to shut the fuck up?
You'd hope so. People tried it, but
All right. So Todd Dolmes wants to know, what would you come back as in another life?
Ooh.
well, he already said an ostrich.
Does not have to be bird related, I guess.
Okay.
What would I come back as? Damn, that's tough.
I mean, you gotta think like top of the list would be like rich white guy.
Does it have to be? Does it have to be a living item?
I would think so if you're coming back to life.
I mean, I'm just saying.
As, right?
I mean, like, I'm sorry, just spitballing here, but like,
I mean, I
you know.
guess we can like qualify like animal, I guess, if you wanted to,
Like-
but I don't think you have to.
Livy Dunn Sibian machine. Like, hey, I'll be that. That's fine. Just saying, something like that, maybe
For sure.
I mean, shit, that's actually tough. I've never really thought about that too much.
Kinda
I mean,
deep.
hell, usually I'll ask people like, what if you could control an element, which one would you choose? Never thought about like,
Ooh, an element?
Oxygen, 100%,
Would you?
or carbon, one of the two.
Yeah, well, I mean, carbon, will you be like controller of everything?
Yeah, oxygen, a lot too.
It's true. Although
Carbon
I-
can be the
I
destroyer of things. Oxygen can destroyer of life. You know.
Yeah.
Done. But if I were to come back as something, it's got to be. I want to be something not of the land, because I already did all that. I think I want to do like either a bird or water, but I think I got to go water.
I knew you
Right?
I already knew this.
Dude, they're saying that there's so much already unexplored. So let me be something that can go explore all of it.
Are we
and see
talking
it.
manatee or something more athletic?
Dude, honestly, I would maybe be like a giant squid,
A giant squid.
because they can go to super deep depths and see
So you're trying to get
all the
weird.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, I want to see like the crazy stuff that I wasn't
All
able
right.
to see now.
All right. Fair
I
enough.
mean, and if I was gonna like go for like, I don't know, just having fun as like an animal, it'd definitely be like a beluga whale or maybe a killer whale, one of the two.
I mean, killer whale seems like it'd be pretty sweet because you're not worried about anyone
Yeah,
else.
but beluga whales are like, they're fun. You're not scared of a beluga whale when you see it. I don't think anything else would be either. You can have all kinds of sea friends.
When you watch, like, do you ever watch like nature videos and stuff?
do I ever watch nature videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, very rare.
All right, so you ever see like videos like, well, let's use like killer whale. You ever seen like the killer whales, like the pod of them attacking the seal? Right, you know, like they're trying to like popping off like the ice. Like, who would you
so
cheer?
Unfair.
When you're watching those types of videos? Who do you cheer for? The seal or the killer whales? Like, are you hoping like, oh fuck, I want to see like teamwork and like it all work, or I'm like, I hope the seal gets away.
I'm never disappointed if the apex predator gets their kill, but I'm always slightly rooting for
the underdog
because we're Cleveland through and through. I mean, we always have to cheer for the underdog because we're never the favorite.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just comes through in what we cheer for in the wild.
Yeah.
I mean, gazelle versus like tiger or like cheetah or something.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite because you're always rooting for the gazelle.
Are you?
You're like dodging like left and right, like you know that like, that is your only defense, and you have to do it flawlessly to maintain that. Like,
you're bragging to all your buddies later, be like, "Yeah, random, no big deal." They weren't even close.
Sipping a beer at the end of the night, be like, "You guys can't touch this, all right? You guys all ran like little bitches. I let them away from you, all right?"
Sorry, we tend to just go off on tangents.
That's very
like
true.
That.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, you're good.
Getting a first look.
What are your like other hobbies besides cornhole? Like what do you enjoy doing?
Well, I used to do backyard wrestling, and I did do jujitsu for a little while.
You're like
my
fucking
brother
cheating.
and I actually go to a lot of my brother and I go to wrestling events, you know, like WWE. That's just what we enjoy watching. Not too big into other sports, but
so like who are you like a diehard supporter of then?
For wrestling?
Yeah, for wrestling.
Or well, I was a Taker, Kane, Stone Cold fan. For the long while, I was a CM Punk fan. Randy Orton. So some current and some a little bit of old school.
Okay.
But
it's something that I know.
I'm a Stone Cold fan, but I don't drink.
If we were allowed to watch it growing up, I know I'd be a diehard fan. But like I feel like even if I wanted to try to start getting into it, it's too late. Like there's too many things.
I've already said the same thing. I can't follow the 15 like storylines that are going on.
Yeah, man. Like I would have no idea how to even start.
And I don't have the time to like go back and watch like fights in the past. There's no way. Now let's flip the script.
Like, some of them run into each other.
Yeah.
What about UFC for you? Who are your favorite fighters?
So I've only watched a handful of the UFC. I know that sounds crazy.
Okay.
With the few that I did watch, I did like the John Jones. I like Rampage Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Lesnar only because he did come from the WWE first, so it was kind of cool just to see him accumulate that accolade, even though, you know, people will have their say that he had it easy, but nonetheless he accomplished it. But yeah, I can't say I keep up with it too much anymore.
Nothing wrong with that.
Do you follow like jiu-jitsu and stuff at all?
No, I just took a little bit of classes to kind of learn a little bit self-defense, just not to take into a competition, but just enough to learn a little bit of self-defense.
Yeah, for sure.
Spar a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're a tall guy, and they say like the tallest ones fall hardest, so you gotta learn that stuff.
So there's.
I'll tell you what, it was a pain in the ass going from wrestling in high school, my senior year, then graduating, then going into jiu-jitsu, because they teach you wrestling teaches you fall to your stomach, jiu-jitsu teaches you fall to your back, but they don't tell you that right away. So I was so used to falling to my chest. The dude climbs on my back and starts choking me out. I'm like, oh shit.
Did you wrestle all your life, or was it just like the 1 year in high school?
No, just 1 year in high school, and I went 4-2 in exhibition matches.
No shit. Did you enjoy it?
I did it, you know, considering I was weight class of 160 or 162 or something like that.
Yeah, that's a tough one in high school.
People were half my height, but they were short and stocky.
Yeah, for sure.
So
little known fact. I don't know if we've ever said this on it. Like our grandmother and our dad are both in the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
That they are.
Yeah. So like wrestling's like near and dear to our family.
Wow.
It's in our blood.
I'm like a diehard like college wrestling fan. Like I know way too much about like high school recruiting process and wrestling and stuff like that.
And I know
It's
way
like,
too much about it because of you and my dad.
Yeah.
So.
it's like the one common interest me and my dad have always had, that and like golf and sports.
Yeah, and then you guys always talk about it around me, so I soak up a lot of it.
Doug Neal wants to know, have you ever used timeouts to gain a competitive advantage over your opponent? What other mind games have you played versus an opponent in the past?
Whatever mind games have I used in the past?
Or have you ever used a timeout to gain an advantage over your opponent?
I'm not a big timeout guy. It's very rare you'll see me go for one of those, maybe if I have one bag left, but I've never used it to like mess with somebody. Now, there's been instances where somebody's tried to do that with me. So
does that bother you ever?
Sometimes I know people are doing it just to be annoying.
Yeah.
So then I'll be annoying as well. Like somebody called a timeout on me at a regional and started playing with their shoelaces. So then I started taking off my hat and I walked to the middle of the court and started taking lint off the top of my hat. And I'm like, well, because I already knew what they were doing. They were just trying to be goofy. And I'm like, don't try to be goofy with me because I'm as goofy as it gets. And I know that. And I still ended up winning that match, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, so when I found out that as long as I'm not distracting my opponent when they're throwing, I could do whatever I want when I throw. So my little new thing is a couple of people at our blind draws can attest to this. If I really want to gain momentum on the mental advantage, I will actually start moaning while throwing every single bag.
All right, so can we get an example?
Yeah, what kind of moan?
So I'll be like,
That's exactly what I was expecting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Throw in every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then that's actually the airmail.
That's the airmail. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Nice. Love it.
And there's nothing against it because I asked Mike Gonzalez about that. I was like, am I allowed to do that when I'm throwing as long as it's not on somebody else's backswing? He goes,
yeah,
it's your throw. He goes, it might annoy the crap out of somebody, but
not against the rules.
You're not distracting them while they're throwing. I mean, it's a brilliant tactic.
So you struck me as a relatively like outgoing, like infectious personality kind of guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to strike up a conversation. Have you always been like that growing up, or like, is it been like as you've gotten older that like you've kind of like broken out of your shell?
No, I definitely had to break out of my shell. I was definitely an introvert throughout my high school years. I would say all the way up until I was about 24, 25.
Okay.
And even in the cornhole community, I was more introverted and, you know, reserved myself. You know, I was a little bit shy. People would approach me, and until I got to know people or feel included, because, you know, we all know high school is pretty cliquey, and it was hard to get past the cliquey mentality. Okay, is cornhole going to be like this, or is it going to be where everybody kind of accepts anybody? And, you know, don't get me wrong, there's still some cliquey aspects in this game, unfortunately, but it's nice to break those down. You know, I could care less, you know, being a pro, being intermediate. At the end of the day, if you're a good person, I want you eating at my table no more differently. I want to eat at yours, and that's it.
I like that.
So,
all right. So Dane's got some random cards. We're going back to the cards. We haven't done this in a few. We haven't done this in a few months. All right. So these are just off this random pull. Dane's gonna let him fire.
It's actually a great question.
All right, I can't wait to hear it.
What 3 items that can fit in a fanny pack would you choose to bring to a deserted island? There's no timetable or anything in this situation, so maybe you're only there for an hour.
I can fit in a fanny pack.
Yes.
Maybe a light, but it's a deserted island. Lighter. It's tough.
It's really tough.
I was thinking lighter, smoke bomb, like something to make a smoke signal, and
I mean, to me,
for all intents and purposes, you never know if something weird shows up. Maybe a condom. I don't know.
oh, okay. The right mermaid
you never
shows
know
up.
It's
that
versatile.
fine mermaid might show up.
Exactly.
You know?
And honestly, like you could maybe have a whole sleeve. I mean, it is a fanny pack, so you can have multiples there.
Yeah, it was definitely like pocket knife of some sort, right? Or some sort of knife.
I was thinking maybe a knife.
I think definitely a lighter of some sort you would want for sure. I think
But I wouldn't, again, we got a whole fanny pack, so I'm not going to limit myself to a knife. Give me like the utility tool.
Well, yeah, that's what I said, a pocket knife
You
or
know?
something like that. Yeah.
Not a Swiss Army though. I want the full utility tool.
Okay.
Sean. It'll
Yes.
still fit.
Okay.
All right. Let's be more strategic about this. Man, maybe
How long am I going to be there? Like, am I going to need sunscreen?
That's what I'm wondering, man. Like, am I only there for 2 hours? Like, am I worrying about the wrong thing? Should I be bringing my Switch instead of like, do I need to entertain myself on this deserted island for 2 hours, or am I going to be there for days or months? Like, there's no timetable.
How big
so
is the island?
exactly.
Yeah,
Like, are we talking about like 10 by 10 square?
Do we have shade?
For your sake, you better hope
I
so.
mean, I'm fucked.
Good lord.
I mean, let's be serious.
Yeah, I mean, maybe sunscreen would be good for you. I don't know if they have a big enough pouch for as much as you'd need for 2 days worth.
Stretch
but
that shit out. Water it down a little bit.
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely thinking possibly my Switch and then a backup battery.
Fair enough.
And a bag of batteries.
Just so I get that extended life.
A utility knife and then like 10 hours.
Yeah, be like, this could do everything for me, and then this is my entertainment for the next 6 hours until I need to use that tool.
And then it's worth it.
Exactly.
All right, fair enough.
Then it's completely pointless.
Yeah,
so
one
I'm
more.
hoping I'm only there for like 2 hours.
Do one more.
All right, let's see what we can get. All right.
I love when you read them first.
If you were stuck in any food and had to eat your way out, what would you want to be stuck in?
Ooh.
Does it have to be like realistic?
Chocolate cake or lasagna?
Oh, those are
I
both
like
great
the
answers.
polar opposites almost on the spectrum, but both layers. Which layer would you want to be stuck in on the lasagna?
Oh, dude, you gotta put me in with the sauce and the cheese and the meat, like in the middle layer, bro.
Okay, I would want to be in the ricotta.
Either way, I'm working my way up or I'm working my way down. Either way, it'd be a fun journey.
I mean, it depends on like. This is obviously like a hypothetical, right?
Very
so
true,
if you're talking about like put me in like a side of a giant crab leg, I'd be my way out. Like just like,
that
fuck
bad
yeah.
boy just.
Or a giant piece of sushi, like I'd be done.
Exactly. By the time you get to the rice, you're like, God damn it.
Or you'll understand. This is like a family reference a little bit. The little bump was trifold.
Oh my god!
Just put me at the bottom of that bitch.
I feel like there's been a time that I've been in that situation.
It was like this, like diabetic coma.
Yeah, it was a gluttony of just delicious things that shouldn't be together.
It was like chocolate pudding. There was Oreos involved, brownie, like just like everything.
Hot fudge. Why do you need pudding and hot fudge?
Yeah,
like you don't need to double up on it.
I mean,
it was just a.
You know, you're a genta. You had one leg. You're trying to get rid of our toes. Like, and I know. I see now.
I was thinking like maybe like a fillet, like a filet mignon, just because it'd be funny with me like inside because I like come out. You can all envision it. But I mean, desserts are always a go-to, but I'm a big breakfast guy. I'm thinking, dude, like put me inside of an omelet or like an eggs.
Roll you up in a breakfast burrito.
Like a lobster Benny.
Oh,
like,
God.
Just sit me inside of that bad boy. I'll just like burst right through the yolk and just let my day begin.
And our Boston folks, like just in case you guys are listening, I'm going to be in Cape Cod for 2 weeks this year.
Yeah, I'm going to be there for one.
For dose. Dose weeks. So I'm excited to go hit up the blind draws up there and see my folks. It'll be fun.
You act like you're going to drive all the way to Boston. Okay.
No, I'm not going to go to Boston. But they can come see me.
It's very true.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much for joining us, man. This has been fun.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all having me on the show.
For sure. So I got to ask you one. It's completely random. How old are you?
Just turned 31 in October.
Okay. That's what I would have guessed. I would have guessed like early 30s.
Close-ish to us.
For sure.
We're still older than you, though.
Yeah. You're still part of the young crowd.
Amen to that. For now, if they're 30, it goes downhill from what they say.
It does quickly. Are you married?
I don't know what he's talking about. That's pretty good.
All right, so he's on the market, ladies. For all 9 of you guys that listen. Ooh, ooh. All right, he's on the market. Sorry, we're not going to help you out that demographic. So unfortunately, our analytics are fucking wild. But I do have to say, shout out to all of our ladies. I swear, most of the ladies that listen are our Patreon members.
Hell yeah.
Love you guys. Like, ladies. Awesome. It's been awesome.
If they're following us on Patreon, we can call them guys. They understand.
Assholes.
Exactly.
For sure. But it was a pleasure meeting you this weekend. I was super impressed. Like that run of like, I love the fact that I just happened to capture like the live stream, like you just going absolutely fucking bananas going airmail. And like, it made my job I didn't have to do anything. I was just trying to be quiet so that like the mic could pick up Power going ape shit. And it was even better when you guys switched sides for game 2 because Power was on my end and watching his facial expressions were like really fun. I'm like you read like 4 for 4 the one time. Power just looks at me. He's like, I don't have to do shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, good.
This was the first story he told me about the weekend, and then failed to bring it up on our recording
That's
earlier.
why we're talking now.
So I'm
so
happy
if you
now.
listen to the show, it's why you should stick around till the end. You never know what
You
I'm gonna
never
forget,
know.
and I just spew it out at the end.
Stuff starts popping out.
It does. It just happens how my brain works. So try to be organized, just never works. So, but seriously, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a long time coming. Like I said, Chauncey's been asking me to get you on for a while. I wanted to meet you in person, and once I met you, I'm like, oh yeah, this will be an easy interview. So, I had a lot of fun learning about you, your background, stuff like that. I love the fact that you're trying to bring different aspects to the game, and I hope that you kick ass this season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys having me on the show. It's been fun, and Chauncey's just a very good dude. So
For sure.
blessed to have him giving me
What
this
bags are you
opportunity
throwing
and
this
making a lot
year?
of this happen.
What bags do you throw this year?
Deliriums.
Deliriums. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I figured.
Swag bag deliriums.
Okay. So go check out Swag Bags. And if you want to just go slick side, old school, rip airmails, have some fun, wear a cowboy hat. Maybe Swag will even throw on a cowboy hat with each purchase.
Spark the movement.
Chauncey,
You know what?
think about
Next
it.
tournament, I'll wear a fedora in your honor.
Just that'd be nice.
I have one right there.
You do have one right there. That'd be kind of
I
nice.
like it.
A mini version.
I have to get a feather in it though. I feel like it's lacking a feather.
It is.
We'll figure
Use
that
style.
out. Exactly.
Use some style. All right, folks. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll be back next week with more audio gold. But as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.
Recording stopped.